What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Benchwire. Today we have our Week 3 predictions. I'm joined here by Steve, as always. It will always be Steve.
I'm not excited about Week 3.
He's not. We're actually going to get right into this. We got Thursday Night Football coming up tomorrow. They think that the Giants don't even have a 20% chance of winning. I think that's fair. Honestly, I put that at like 2%.
Bullshit. I think Daniel Jones is him, and he's going to be God tomorrow. Saquon's ruled out. We know that. Okay.
So
Andrew Thomas ruled out. Okay. Azeez Ojulari ruled out as well. It's not going to look pretty. We're playing the best team in NFL tomorrow. Okay. Brock Purdy, Thursday Night Football. It's gonna be a game that's gonna happen. It's gonna be fun. We're probably gonna lose. So I have the Giants losing against the Niners. I don't have much to say. You know why?
Yeah, I also have the Giants losing. I think it's pretty obvious. Not only do they have to go to San Francisco, but they're going to San Francisco without, like we said, Saquon and Andrew Thomas, arguably the two best players.
They are best
on the
players.
offensive side of the ball.
Daniel Jones is third best. He'll be playing. Did you watch that game?
Yeah. No.
Yes, you did.
No, we're just going to move over this because this game we all know how this is going to go. At 1 o'clock, we got the Falcons going into Detroit. Detroit is 1-1, Atlanta 2-0. Desmond Ridder looks pretty good so far. Does need to throw the ball to Kyle Pitts and Drake London. They're just not getting them involved. Not sure how much of that is his fault in the play calling, but Bijan did his thing. Tyler Algier, they like that two-back combo. They like to line up Bijan as a receiver. I don't really understand that, but it's working. So,
he's a decoy.
What is this? Is it?
I'm just
going to say, I know, but it says according to what? ESPN Analytics?
Yeah.
I was going to say, according to ESPN.
No, it's according to Benchwire Analytics.
It's according to ESPN that they think the Lions are going to win. They have a 55% chance over the Falcons, and I pretty much agree with those odds. I think it's hard to put the Falcons less with being 2-0, and they haven't been tested too much yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I have the Lions in this game. I think they are the better team. They did just lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson, so that is going to be a hole within their secondary. But I like Jared Goff. I know they lost last week, but I think they'll bounce back, and they'll beat the Falcons. The Falcons, they haven't really been battle-tested yet. They played the Packers, who's a team that's in the middle of a rebuild with Jordan Love, yada, yada. But if I had to pick a team, I believe in Dan Campbell more than I believe in Arthur Smith. So give me the Detroit Lions.
The next game is a pretty good one. The Chargers head into Minnesota to take on the Vikings. We talked about the Chargers a little bit, mentioned how they can't really hold on to games at the end. And the Vikings are a team that doesn't really have a defense, so it could be an interesting game. The Chargers will put up points. It's a question of whether the Vikings can match it at the end of the game and take the lead, right? But yeah, I think I'm going to finally give the Chargers their first win of the season. I can't see them going 0-3, especially with how well they've played offensively. Defensively, they're going to have to figure it out, but the Vikings might let them put up 50 with that offense, so we'll see.
All right, I'm going to go the other direction here. I believe in the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're going to win this game. I think it's 50-50. ESPN has a 53 and Vikings at 46, but I like Kirk Cousins more right now than I do with Justin Herbert. I think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback at this moment right now than Justin Herbert. I don't know if that's a hot take. Is that a hot take?
That's definitely a hot take.
Well, I think he's a better quarterback. Right now, he's a better quarterback.
I was about to start a debate with his predictions, so.
We can.
No.
Oh, I'm ready.
No.
All right. Right now, I think he's a better quarterback. You got Justin Jefferson. He is one of the best players in the league, and he continues to dominate. He has had a great start to the season so far, and I know Keenan Allen has been great as well, but I think Justin Jefferson is a man that is unstoppable. But all in all, I don't believe in Brandon Staley, and I like Kevin O'Connell more, so give me the Vikings.
The Packers, they are hosting, I want to say, the Saints. Yeah, the Saints. They finally get their home game, 2 games in, both away for the Packers. I mean, listen, being away, going 1-1, not awful. You come home. This is a game that we're going to really see if the Packers defense can help them compete in games like this with New Orleans, who's probably going to be a playoff team this year. Although, I wouldn't rule out them missing. I think that they have some good players, but I can also see it just going the way of the Bucs or something like that, because I don't think the wild cards will be able to go into that division with the NFC East and whatnot. So I think that the Packers could win this game. I'm actually going to go with the Packers. I didn't realize that ESPN actually has them winning. I thought that was more of a kind of like not an upset, but I thought that wouldn't be favored. But I'm going to go with the Packers. I just think that Lambeau Field, it's a hard place to play, and Jordan Love will get his first win at Lambeau, I think. I don't know if he won one last year.
Who did he play week 1? Bears?
Yeah,
that was
two
Chicago?
away games.
Okay. If I had to choose a team, I would choose the Green Bay Packers. They should have won last week. They didn't have some players healthy. Aaron Jones was out, and Christian Watson has been out. I think they're going to get at least one of those guys back for this game, so I think that will help out the offense. I like the Packers better in this game. The Saints, I don't know. They're a team that's hanging in there, and they beat up on 2 crappy teams so far, the Titans and the Panthers. I don't think they beat the Packers this week, so give me the Packers.
The Jaguars, after losing to the Chiefs, which was a really difficult game for their offense, they get to host the Texans. So should be a game, like a real test for C.J. Stroud. Obviously, his first 2 games was against Baltimore, so that was a test itself, I guess. But Jacksonville, another test for him. So far, he's probably been the best rookie, I'd say. Richardson obviously looks electric, but I think stat-wise, Stroud has actually been really good. I think that there is a chance that the Texans could go in there and somehow steal it. That would probably be one of those games that we look back at the end of the year and we'd be like, well, that was one heck of an upset. But I think I'm going to go with the Jags. I think they have to bounce back after not showing up for that Chiefs game.
Okay. I would go with the Jags as well. I think they are the team that is built for more success right now. Texans, they're still hanging on by a thread with that offensive line. They need to be able to protect C.J. Stroud, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they will bounce back this week. Trevor Lawrence didn't have a great game last week. Against this Texans defense, he will have a great game. Expect a big game out of Calvin Ridley, your guy. And also, I think Christian Kirk will also have a great game too. So give me the Jags.
I'm going to add on real quick. You said Christian Kirk. I'm going to say Zay Jones. I think it's going to be Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley.
No, Kirk.
Sorry.
Kirk's better.
The next game that we got is the Broncos heading into Miami to take on the Dolphins. I do think that it is the first home game for the Dolphins. I'm pretty sure that they went to LA and then they just went to New England. So I believe this is their home opener. And they got a Broncos team that doesn't really have an identity right now. I don't really know what to think of them right now. Sean Payne, it's a little early. You have to get a lot of stuff figured out still, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think ESPN probably has them as heavy favorites now.
70%.
That's fucking heavy favorites.
Heavy.
Yeah, I think that Tyreek versus Surtain or maybe Waddle versus Surtain, it'll be a fun matchup. And listen, we'll see. Russ was fine last week. It was the defense that just allowed all these points. Now the offense needs to score. They can't just disappear, right? But I don't know. I think I'm one of those people that I'm waiting for the Broncos to finally show up. I know they have it. I just don't know when they're going to do it.
Okay. Well, I don't have the Broncos starting out 0-3. I have them as my upset of the week.
That's probably one of the upsets of the year.
Yeah, upsets of the year. So, yeah, the Dolphins are heavy favorites, but I expect Sean Payton to bounce back after last week. You were up 21-3, and you lost that game to the Commanders. That can't happen. So, he's going to prove to you why he's still one of the better coaches in the league, and he's going to win this game. Russell Wilson's going to have himself a game, and they're going to go in there and go play the Dolphins, and they're going to win, and it's going to be by a touchdown, all right? They're going to have a game-winning drive. It's going to be a tie game. They're going to go down there and make some things happen. They're not starting out 0-3, so give me the Broncos over the Dolphins.
All right, the next game is the Titans heading into Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns just lost Nick Chubb, and Deshaun still kind of looks shaky. Their defense is legit, but I don't know if that's enough to keep them in a game when they lost Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb is just such a difference maker for that team that, when the defense, bails out the Browns and gives them more offensive opportunities, I think Nick Chubb makes up a good amount of those opportunities offensively and turning those into points. So I know that they brought in Kareem Hunt. They brought
Just
him back.
acquired him today.
I would think he could play.
They said he will
should
get
know the
snaps.
playbook. Yeah,
He won't be starting, but you got Mr. Ford.
yeah. I think I'm gonna go with the Browns. I don't know if ESPN has the Titans. They don't.
They have the Browns.
Okay, so they do have the Browns as the favorites.
Slight favorites.
I just think that their defense is just so good right now, and Tennessee they're still struggling offensively, in my opinion. I just don't really see where the points are going to come from, receiver-wise. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins hasn't been himself. I don't know if that's because
he just hasn't been
Ryan Tannehill hasn't gotten him the ball or what. But, yeah, I don't know. Tennessee also has a lot to figure out, but I'm just going to kind of go with the favorite here with the Browns. I think it's a safe pick.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Browns as well. I think they are the better team in this situation. I know it sucks losing Nick Chubb, but you do have some running backs now in that room that can deliver. I like the signing of Kareem Hunt. He knows the playbook. I think Ford has been great for them. He wasn't bad when Nick Chubb went down, so I think that will help. And Amari Cooper, he hasn't gotten the targets that he wanted, but I think he will bounce back this week against the Titans. They don't have a great secondary. They have a young secondary, and I think he'll take advantage of that. I really do. I do like Mike Vrabel. He's the better coach in this situation, but all in all, give me the Browns.
The Bills headed to Washington to take on the Commanders. The Commanders, they're 2-0. They haven't necessarily been tested. I know that, listen, you can only play the team that's in front of you, so you got to give them credit for that. But they are getting tested this week by Buffalo coming in. I think Buffalo is just by far the better team. I don't think that Commanders are even near that level. And in these types of games, I think that the better team just wins. I think it's really that simple. So I'm just going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about with this game. I have the Bills as well. The Commanders are finally playing a good team on their schedule. It's not easy anymore. They did steal a win last week. They should have lost that game, but Ron Rivera coached a hell of a second half. Josh Allen, he bounced back last week. I expect him to do great things again this week, so give me the Bills.
Colts with Anthony Richardson. Believe he has cleared concussion protocol. If not, it would be Gardner Minshew, but regardless, I have the same outcome. They're going into Baltimore, and I think that they're going to lose it. The Colts, they're playing some pretty good football. Shane Steichen has done some good things with that team thus far, and I think that they're going to have a nice, future ahead of them. But I just think that Baltimore is a lot better of a team. They're more, figured out identity-wise. I keep going back to this point of identity, and I do think it's a genuinely an important thing. So that when you get in these holes where Baltimore, let's say the Colts start out and they go 14-0, right? They go up 14-0. The Ravens have an identity where they know they can get back in that game. But the Colts, if they go down early, I don't really know if they're going to sit there and be like, "Oh, we got this. We're going to get the stops. We'll win this game easily." So, I think the Ravens are going to win. It might be by a nice margin.
All right. Yeah, if Anthony Richardson isn't playing this game, I don't think the Colts have a shot. I think the Ravens are the better coached team. They got John Harbaugh, one of the best coaches in the league. Lamar Jackson, he hasn't been great, but I think he'll have a great game this week against the Colts, who have a weak defense. But
good
Zay
D-line,
Flowers,
though.
Yeah, they have a good D-line, but secondary-wise, I think Zay Flowers will go to work. And Mark Andrews, we saw a little what he could do last week. I think he's
just warming up, yeah.
I think he'll have an increased role this week. So, all in all, I have to pick the Ravens against the Colts.
Yeah, I'm noticing that ESPN has some very favorable odds.
They do. Who's paying them off?
Yeah. The Patriots head into New York to take on the Jets. Bill Belichick and company get to finally leave Foxborough and get on the road. The Jets, listen, they're 1-1. They got that win against the Bills. If it wasn't for that, they'd probably be 0-2 right now. Zach Wilson, again, I'm not going to sit here and say everything is on him, but he does need to perform better. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers was on the sideline last week. I think maybe it was a little too early for Rodgers to just get back on the sideline with that type of injury. But this is a home game, so you never know. If Aaron Rodgers is on the sideline, maybe he can, walk him through some steps on how to make better reads and all that type of stuff. But I don't know. Patriots defense has played pretty well. They actually were able to slow down Tyreek, and I think for that reason, I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think the Patriots are they 0-2? They're 0-2. They're going to get their first win here, and unfortunately, the Jets are going to drop to 1-2.
I'm going to go the same route. I think the Patriots are built to win this game. Zach Wilson has not looked great to start off the season. I think he has, 3 or 4 picks on the season, which is not great whatsoever. I think the Patriots, they've hung in there. They've hung in there with teams like the Eagles and the Dolphins, and expect them to win this week. I like Bill Belichick. He just hasn't had the luck this season to win those games, but I think this week it's a divisional game. I think he's going to win, and they're going to beat the Jets this week.
The Panthers, they head into Seattle. This is a 4 o'clock game. This is the beginning of that 4 o'clock slate. It's only 3 games. There is 2 Monday night games again. Oof. Panthers the Panthers headed into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Listen, the Panthers, they haven't played bad. They really do find ways to hang in there. Losing Shaq Thompson is a big loss. He continues to be one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. He's been good for so long, so consistent. And to go against a team that has Kenny Walker.
They have
Kenneth Walker, but Kenneth Walker should be able to kind of go up the middle. I know if he can get past Derek Brown, there's not many linebackers on that team I trust to make those tackles. So I think the run game will be massive for the Seahawks in this game, especially in the second half when they're going to have to put them away. If that didn't pretty much say it, I'd have the Seahawks.
I have the same. I have the Seahawks as well. The Panthers, they're still going through that rebuild. First year with Bryce Young, Frank Reich. He didn't coach a great game against the Saints. It could have been better, but it wasn't. Pete Carroll finally got his first win of the season last week, and I think they're going to just be the better team. DK Metcalf. I want to see more JSN. JSN needs to get more targets. He needs to get more involved. I don't know if it's the injury that's bothering him. But I think, the Seahawks are the better team, and they're going to get the job done against Bryce Young and the Panthers.
The Chicago Bears head into Kansas City. They're going to lose.
They're going to lose.
I don't even know what
Matt Eberflus.
I don't even know what I want to say about this, just because the Bears are going to get destroyed. I don't see a world where they can hang in there, and I think that's because I haven't seen them in a while play a team of that caliber. Yeah. Now, I would say the last time was Philly when they went into Chicago last year towards the end of the season. But even then, Hurts kind of hurt his shoulder. It was a cold game, but this is good weather. This is fine weather. Travis Kelce should be able to play most of the snaps now, so he's not going to be on a restriction.
Yeah.
I don't see a world where they could win this game. Maybe they hang in there in the beginning because the Chiefs' offense has struggled. But I think Travis Kelce is going to fix most of that. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's Mahomes puts up 5 does some crazy shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
If I had to choose, I think the obvious answer here is the Chiefs over the Bears. I am not a fan of Matt Eberflus. Justin Fields does not look like a franchise quarterback right
18%.
now. They have an 18% chance of winning this game by ESPN, and I agree with that. I don't think they have much of a chance.
I think it could be less.
Justin Fields, he looked awful in that game last week. I don't know what it is. It could be coaching, could be the receivers, could be the line not blocking. We don't know. He just needs to get his shit together, and I don't think he'll do it this week against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he looked all right last week, but I think he gets the job done, and Travis Kelce will not be on a snap count. So give me the Chiefs over the Bears.
The Cowboys head into Arizona, take on the Cardinals. It's going to be the Cowboys. They're going to win this game. Micah might actually kill Josh Dobbs.
They looked pretty good last week.
Yeah, the Cowboys, they
look pretty good.
Yeah, they hung in there with the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants are pretty good.
But I think the Cowboys, listen, I still I don't believe it. I don't. Every year I feel like it's the same thing. It always starts off like this. They go through a rough patch, and they play good again, and then make it to the playoffs, and then it's a completely different team once the playoffs hit. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. Listen, we all know the Cowboys. They're going to win 10-plus games. They're going to win their games. But I think, I just don't think they are a serious team. I have to see more. If they can go and beat...
Oh, they're serious.
We play the Bills this year. If they can beat the Bills...
No, they'll beat the Bills.
I'll be okay, all right. But... I don't know. There's definitely a few other games on that schedule I'm going to circle and watch. But
if the Jets can beat the Bills, the Cowboys can beat the Bills. That's all I gotta say. But for this game alone, I have the Cowboys destroying the Cardinals. The Cardinals, they played pretty good last week, but they're not playing the Giants this time around. They're playing that Cowboys defense. Right now is like a top 3 defense in the league. Micah Parsons is unstoppable, man. Like, I don't know who's gonna block him. It's gonna be bad. So prayers up to Josh Dobbs this week. That's all I gotta say. Jonathan Gannon, I don't know what he did the second half. He just forgot how to coach.
It's called tanking.
I guess they do want Caleb Williams. He's a good man. He's a good quarterback to have. But if I had to choose a team, give me the Cowboys over the Cardinals. They're the heavy favorites, and I have to pick them.
Steelers, they host the Raiders. Other way around. Raiders, they have their home opener against the Steelers. At 8:20, it's actually going to probably be a good night game. The only thing is, the Steelers need their offensive line to block for Kenny Pickett. If I see this guy have to run out of the pocket every fucking possession, I'm going to lose my shit. Because he has so much talent, but we can't see it. And so, it's frustrating. I'm not a Steelers fan. I just love Kenny Pickett. And Najee Harris, I don't know what they got to do to get him going. I mean, obviously the line has to block, but the Steelers they're such a question mark right now. If they can't get that offensive line going, I don't really know if they're going to live up to the expectations that you and I set for them. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, I think the Raiders are going to win. I think the Raiders are the better team. It's really close. I think the Steelers defense could obviously win this game for them again, but I don't know. I have a feeling that Devontae Adams and Jimmy G and Hunter Renfrow, he had one target or one reception through 2 games. He needs to get involved. I think that
be on a trade block, honestly.
I expect Josh McDaniels to have a better game plan going into this, and they'll win their home opener.
Okay, I respect that, but I don't got the same team right now. I got the Steelers over the Raiders. I know the offense. Fire Matt Canada. He's awful. George Pickens, got to get him more involved. He had a great game last week, but that's because he had one play that went for like 70-plus yards. Get him more involved. Get Najee Harris more involved. I want to see more Pat Freiermuth involved. He's like one of the best tight ends in the game. So if you throw him the ball, he'll make some plays for you. The defense, TJ Watt is unstoppable. Has the most career sacks in franchise history already in his young career. I think he'll have another field day against the Raiders. I'm not big believers in the Raiders this year, so that's why I have the Steelers over the Raiders in this matchup.
All right, and then last but not least, our 2 Monday night games. Eagles head into Tampa to take on the Buccaneers at 7:15. Oh, thank you. Nice early one.
You got a nice one. You go to sleep early that night.
Well, not really, because I still want to watch the Rams back. It depends what the score is. But
is Joe Burrow going to play? We don't know yet.
Oh, yeah, if he doesn't play, I'm not watching. But yeah, the Eagles head into Tampa Bay. They have a really good defense. I'm excited to see what our offense can do. Obviously, we have been struggling. We are 2-0, but none of the wins have really looked good. And obviously, I look at that as kind of a good thing, right? If we can go 2-0 against some decent teams, that bodes well for us if we can get things going. So, yeah, I'm excited to see our coordinators, both of them. I think they both are going to get tested this game, and so will the roster. So I still think the Eagles are going to win, but I think this should be an interesting one. Hopefully, it could be a nice blowout.
Blowout?
I'm not saying it's going to be. I don't think it will be, but I'm saying I would love to blow out the Bucs because then I would feel a little bit better.
How close do you think this game will be, though?
I think that the Eagles could win by 10 points.
10 points?
A little field goal at the end to ice it.
All right, they can win by 10 points, but will they? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, 10 points.
10 points, you think? Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a field goal at the end. It's like that ices it.
Gotcha. The Eagles, yeah, they're 2-0. The Bucs, they're 2-0, surprisingly. If I had to pick a team, I would pick the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they are more well-rounded. They have the offensive line to block that Bucs D-line. Vita Vea, he's a man. He's a mammoth. But I think Jason Kelce and company will take care of him. So there won't be much of a pass rush for the Bucs going into this game.
Maybe they move Vita Vea to go against Cam Jurgens a bit more, too. I'd like to see Cam Jurgens tested.
That would be a good
test.
Good test,
her.
Yeah. Whoa, you went dark there for a second. I was scared. But Eagles, Bucs. If I had to pick a team, I'm picking the Eagles. Baker Mayfield, I don't think he will be great in this game. I think he will finally have a crappy game to start the year. He always has one of those. So give me the Eagles over the Bucs.
All right, last but not least, the Rams head into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. We don't know if Joe Burrow's playing. If Joe Burrow doesn't play, obviously I'm going to circle them for a loss. But I think if he does play, I'm going to give them the win. I know the Rams have looked really good, but I do think that the Bengals, they're due for, a good game. They are. Last week I said I can't see them going 0-2. Well, they're 0-2. I can't see them going 0-3.
Yeah.
I think they're just too good of a team. Too good of a team. And yeah, Super Bowl rematch. That'll be cool.
I forgot about that. The Bengals, Rams. I'm the same boat with you. If Joe Burrow is active for this game, I have the Bengals. If he's not, I have the Rams. It's plain and simple. I think they're going to get Jamar Chase more involved. Joe Mixon will be more involved. But the Rams, they've looked pretty good. And I like the addition of starting Kyron Williams over Cam Akers. He's proven to be a great back. And Puka Nacua, he's coming out on the scene, and he's been making plays. He has the most receiving yards in the first 2 games in NFL history. So that's some good stuff from the Rams. But if Joe Burrow's playing this game and he doesn't have that calf injury, I have the Bengals over the Rams.
All right, well, that wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. Let us know your predictions for the Thursday night, Monday night games, and Sunday night games. We post on Instagram. You can go ahead and put your predictions in there and see our score predictions. And then you can also see our weekend score predictions on the weekend. So, yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got. Bench wire.
Out.